United Nations envoy Bernardino Leon says Libyan parties have reached a consensus on the main elements of a political agreement aimed at resolving the country's crisis. The UN facilitation is going to distribute the texts of the final agreement to the parties involved in the crisis. Now, African Affairs analyst Ademola Oshodi joins us now to discuss this. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, what makes this very consensus different from the previous attempts made to achieve peace in Libya?
Well, I think it's the fact that it's bringing more parties involved, and there's also this looming deadline of September 20th to get a resolution. So those two factors, the fact that there's more of the militant groups, more representatives both on the ground and on the political sphere involved in this basically peace or unity government that is sought after, and also that deadline. So these two combinations have made it seemingly more attractive for peace in Libya. And as we see right now, the United Nations is with Bernardino Leon is even more integrated and given marching orders that beyond September 20th, this thing must either be resolved before that date or it will just unravel.
Now, in your opinion now, do you think the newly reached consensus increases the likelihood of a unity government to be formed between the two rival governments?
It would definitely be progress. It would not resolve the problem, and there will be some semblance of a unity government or some semblance of factions coming together to form a government. But you won't get everybody there. The Islamists in Tripoli are still quite reluctant, very worried and concerned about their own interests being protected. The factor really here is the city of Misrata. Misrata is basically the new dimension in this whole thing. They actually were never really involved in peace agreements. Now they're very much involved. So if you have the internationally recognized government in Tobruk, and then Misrata, representatives in that peace government, you don't have hopefully factions from Tripoli, where the main Islamist and nationalist ethnic groups are located. If you have those ones, a few from Tripoli, coming in for the peace agreement, then you have something. You have probably 75%, maybe 60% of the warring parties involved in this unity government.
The people of Libya saw Muammar Gaddafi as a common enemy. Now Muammar Gaddafi is no more in the scene. One had expected that the people of Libya would come together and begin to live a better life. Now the question is, what seems to have defied all solutions to the crisis in Libya all this while?
Well, it's basically Muammar Gaddafi, holding power to over 40-something years. Basically, things were boiling underneath. And in every way in the world, all international relations specialists will tell you that if you have a dictator holding on to power for decades, once he leaves, everything starts to unravel. It happens in many cases in even the USSR. It happened in Egypt. It happens in so many places, even in Latin America. So there's nobody holding the country together, regardless, even though it's quite a hodgepodge of ethnic and religious and sectarian interest. Same thing happened in Iraqi Saddam Hussein. So now that big dictator has left, now you have everybody expressing their will, everybody wanting their say, everybody pushing their interest, whether it's a city or it's an ethnic group or it's even merchants in Misrata. Everybody wants their say. They haven't had that opportunity for years. So everybody's just scramble for power and relevance. So unfortunately, it happens that way. But while the international community just has to ensure that these parties see the longer interest of a united government that will take care of their own interests. So everybody is represented and their interests are taken care of. That's the only way peace can be achieved.
Now, talking about people wanting their say, the qualities of the leaders is extremely important. Now, the Tripoli government has been given 48 hours to provide names for leadership positions in the unity government. The Tobruk government, on the other hand, has already submitted names.
Yes.
Now, what are your expectations regarding the quality of the personalities on that list?
Well, you will get the best you can, and the best you can is anybody that wants peace, and basically a government in Libya. Libya has been a big problem right now in the international community. Initially, when Gaddafi died, arms from the armory in Libya was sold out to the militants in Maghreb. They even made their way down to the Boko Haram in Nigeria. Now Libya is a big concern for the European Union, because the illegal immigrants have been basically channeled through the coast, the Libyan coast, to parts of Italy and Greece. So it's in their interest to ensure that this government is brought into place. So anybody that has that interest in mind, the country first, before their own narrow interest of ethnicity or religious sentiments, will ensure that this is achieved, regardless of the quality of the person. Obviously, everybody wants the best person to be in the job, but the biggest focus is the key.
If a unity government is not formed before September 20 deadline, what are the consequences?
Well, I think it will just be another failed mission, and it would be reformed. They would probably leave the Libyans to themselves, and eventually the United Nations will come back with a different name, a different structure, when they're tired of fighting. It happened in many parts of the world. When they're tired of, the warring parties are tired of fighting, they will come back and revisit this issue and ensure that the unity or the government is actually formed. But beyond that, so you're looking at a post September 20th of basically status quo. Yeah.
All right, Ademola Oshodi, African Affairs Analyst, many thanks for your contributions and, of course, sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you very much.